Hi friends, it's me, Salty Shorts. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cement planter for a plant. So you should pull out from your kits the bag marked cement planter, and then you should have a special succulent plant also in your kit. And then from your birdhouse kit, you should pull out your Phillips head screwdriver. And then from your house, if you have this around, get a glass of water and some measuring utensils. So you should have 1/2 cup, and then you should have a tablespoon. Here's what you should have in your kit. You should have a stirring stick, a pair of gloves, 2 straws, masking tape, this is called modeling clay, a bag of cement, a yogurt container for mixing, and then 2 different sized cups. Alright, so anytime you are using cement, it's pretty runny, and so you need to make a form of whatever shape you're going to make so that the cement fits to that form and then dries in that form. So that's what we're going to do first. So take everything off of your workstation except your 2 cups, your screwdriver, your masking tape, clay, and your straw. Take your screwdriver and you are going to poke holes in the bottom of both of your cups. So in your plastic cup, your bigger cup, you should see that there's a X on the bottom of your cup. So that hole's been started for you. You're going to take your screwdriver and put it from the inside into the bottom of your cup and just wiggle your way in there, and that's going to give us enough space for our straw, which is going to go in there. Just like that. And now take your other cup, little cardboard cup, we're going to flip it over. We're going to put a hole pretty much right in the center of that cup. So just place your screwdriver in the center of the cup and just push down a little, wiggle and push down, and it should go in pretty easy. So now you should have 2 holes in the bottom of your cups. Alright, now that you have holes in the bottom of both of your cups, it's time to assemble your form. So you're going to take your straw and put it into the hole on your larger cup, just like that. And what the straw is going to do is it's going to create a form for drainage in the bottom of our planter. So you're going to take it and put it in the bottom of your cup, and then you're going to take some of your clay. You don't need a ton, just take off a chunk like that or so. And you're going to make that into a ball. Might have to get it a little warm in your hands. Nice little ball like that. And you're going to smush it around your straw. So you can flatten it first. So turn your ball into a pancake like that. And then smush it around your straw. And this is really just to keep that straw in there when we pour the concrete. So it should be just nice and stable in there. And then to add a little extra security, we're going to take some tape, just a small strip, enough to go around the bottom of your cup. You're just going to tape that masking or that molding clay on there, and you're going to do that with 2 pieces and form an X. Now take another little chunk of your clay, and this you want it to be a slightly larger chunk. The noises are very important. So something like that, and you're again gonna make that into a ball. You gotta warm it up in your hands, roll it around, and all the rest of that clay is extra. So if you want to make any critters or a little house or something, have at it. So you're just going to really get this so that it's gonna be a little bit more soft for you. And then again, you're gonna make it into kind of a pancake. So smash it down. You can even put it on your workstation and smash it. And then you're going to stick it on the bottom of your smaller cup. And this one, you want it to be kind of smooth. You're still not going to see it, but this will be the bottom of the inside of your planter. So you're just gonna kind of smush it around till it's nice and secure in there. So see, it doesn't have to be super beautiful, it just has to kind of match the form of your cup there. I am going to fill in around the edges with more clay because concrete can just seep into the cracks around there. So I'm going to take a little bit more and just fill in all of my cracks. Maybe make a little snake this time. Alright, and see, I'm just going to stick that in along the edge. Really integrate it in there. There you go. Alright, and now I'm going to take my screwdriver and I'm going to refine the hole in there from the inside, and I'm going to stick it through just so that I can see, I have a guide of where that hole is on the other side. So I can put it down on the table and poke it through and then see how it's coming through the other side there. And then I'm going to take this cup and feed it onto the straw till it goes all the way through. So the last thing we're going to do to prep our forms is to give ourselves a guide of where, how far in our top cup is going to be, and that's going to give us a measurement of where how thick our base is. So we're going to take that cardboard cup off, and we're going to use some of our tape. You don't have to take a huge piece, just a piece to mark one side. And we're gonna put that so that it's about halfway between the rim and the cup. So see, that's like half there, and then we're gonna fold that edge down. All right, now we're ready to pour our cement. So when we're pouring cement, we want to make sure that we are completely ready to do this because it is time sensitive and it sets up, which means it gets harder as you go. So we're going to clear our workstation, keep our cups handy. We're going to pull out our yogurt container for mixing, our stir stick, our glass of water, measuring utensils, our bag of cement, and at this point, we're gonna put our gloves on. Now, cement is a little bit caustic, which means it can dry out your hands, and that's why we're using gloves. So make sure you have your gloves on for this whole part of the process. All right, so now we are going to mix our cement. So first thing you're gonna do is measure out a half cup of water. And I like to put my water in first so you don't have dry cement that's stuck on the bottom. So I'm going to take that whole half cup and dump it into my yogurt container. All right, now here's where things start to get time sensitive. So you want to make sure that starting now, you are totally ready to go. So what you're going to do is take your bag of cement and be pretty careful while you're pouring this into your water because it can get kind of dusty. So you're just going to do this kind of slowly and in a controlled way. You're going to dump it into the water. You can do a little shake action. And try to be in a ventilated place or wear a mask while you're doing this. You're gonna dump all of that cement in. Then you're going to take your stir stick and start stirring right away. Now what we're going for here is kind of a pancake batter consistency. So you can see right now it's already pretty dried up. So I'm gonna have to put a fair amount more water in there actually. So I am going to take my tablespoons and I'm going to fill it a tablespoon at a time. I'm probably at this point gonna do 3 more tablespoons. But remember, this is not going to be a precise measurement for everybody. It kind of depends on what the moisture is like in the air. There's a lot of things that can affect how cement acts when it mixes with water. So this is just kind of whatever works for you. And I can already feel that I'm getting some dry stuck parts on the side. And so I want to just pry those off with my stir stick. And you'll see those dry clumps in there. So get them up off the side and then just stir furiously. You can scrape the sides every once in a while. And you want to stir just until it's all mixed up together. So for me, it looked pretty perfect to use a half a cup of water to start and then 3 tablespoons. But remember, with water, you can't take it out. You can only put it in. So if it's looking kind of runny, just put in a little bit of water at a time as you go. So once I have it looking like this, where when I put the stir stick in, it sticks to the stir stick, but if I shake it, a little bit still drops in there, so it's runny but still pretty consistent, then I know that I'm pretty good, all right? And then I'm immediately going to take this, and using my stir stick and being very careful, I am going to take about half of the cement that I've got in here, or no, I'm going to fill it up to about half of the cup, right? So try to keep that straw in the middle. And I'm gonna stick it in there. And you wanna make sure that you're filling the cup up and not having any holes as you go. It's nice because this cup is, you can see through it. So you can see if you've got any holes. And what I can do is every once in a while I can tap down on the cup and that takes out any air bubbles in my cement. So I'm going to keep going until I'm about halfway. And this part can get a little bit messy, but it's great because you've got gloves on. All right, so when I'm there, about halfway, I'm going to reposition my straw in the middle, take my smaller cup, and smush that down onto the straw until my tape line matches, and you can now kind of wiggle that into the cement, and it's going to come up around the sides, and I'm going to take it until my tape line is matching the sides of my larger cup. So till I'm there. And then I'm going to take my cement and using my stir stick, I'm going to stick my cement into the sides. My cement is actually already starting to set up a little bit, so I'm going to take the teeniest little bit of more water and put it in there so that I make sure that it's runny enough for me to get it in there. But I'm just taking a teeny little splash and stirring it again. And now it's a little bit more runny, so I'm going to be able to get it into the sides of there. And it's okay if it comes up around the cup edges. You can clean that up as you go. Now that I have cement all the way up to the rim, I'm going to really push that cup, that inner cup in, and make sure I'm right at my tape line. Then I'm going to take my stirring stick and I'm just going to go along the edge and clean up any cement or any concrete that I have on there, so that it's kind of a clean edge there. Then I'm going to take my masking tape and I really want to just secure these two cups together, so you can give it one last push and then use my tape to hold it in there. And again, I'm going to make an X. Just like that. And for a little extra security, I can take my tape and run it all the way along the bottom edges of that tape to really make sure that it sticks in there. Now, we're just going to let our cement set up, and I want you to give it at least an hour. So you're just going to set that aside for an hour, and you can set your timer for that. This is a really good time to clean up your station. So you're going to have a little bit of cement left over, and this you can use as a planter base, or you can decorate it. You can do whatever you want with it, or you can throw it out. But a good way to do cleanup so that you can reuse your yogurt container for mixing is to let it also set up in there as well. And you can take your stir stick and you can just smooth out the top of that a little bit. You could even put a design in there, like make a heart or something. And you're just gonna let that sit in there, and after it's all set up, you can turn it over and bang on the bottom of it, and then it should come out in one piece. So now it's been an hour, and you can see once your form is really rock hard, it's time to take it out. So I took my gloves off, not gonna need them anymore, and I am now ready for the big reveal. So I'm gonna take my tape off, all sides. Now, as I'm taking these cups out of this form, you might be destroying the cups a little bit, and that's okay. What we're really worried about or want to make sure is together is that cement, and the cement holds together really well. So what I'm going to do is first try to get this smaller cup out, and I can just use my hands to do that. Wiggle it on out of there. And if it's getting stuck in there, you can take your screwdriver and carefully, you can stick it down in there and just give it a little bit of a nudge too. Keep up with that wiggle action, and then I can see I have a release and pull that out of there. Now the molding clay that's still in there, that sometimes is a little bit harder to get out. So you can use your screwdriver again and just dig that out bit by bit. Now this is the bottom of your planter, so if it's not perfect, if you can't get it all out, that's okay. Really the most important thing is that that hole that's in there where the straw was, that is pretty clear of clay so that you have enough drainage for your planter. Once the bottom of your cup looks something like that, that's probably enough clay to take out. You can leave the rest in there. And then we're going to take off the entire outside cup. So turn your cup over and take the tape off of the bottom. And you can see that the bottom already got a little bit broken, which is great. So really, you want to be careful with your fingers because these edges can be a little bit sharp, but they're not that bad. And you can just pull them back. You can even take your needle nose pliers from your keychain kit and help you just carefully rip that cup back. And if you can get a whole strip, then you're going to be able to just take that off nice and easy. And really watch out for the edges here because those can be a little sharp. But you should just be able to carefully pull that whole thing off. And then, there you go. You have your planter. And you can see that the edges of your planter might be a little bit rough. It's kind of a look thing. Like if you want to leave that look, that's great. If you want to make it a little bit smoother, and if those edges are kind of jaggedy, you can take your screwdriver, or if there's a butter knife you can use, or anything kind of flat and or hard, and you can just rub it against the side, and that's going to smooth those edges a little bit for you. And see, I'm just taking off kind of these big chunks. See how there's a big chunk? I'm just gonna run my screwdriver over it, make it a little bit smoother. And I can do that on the inside edge too. All right. Now I'm going to clear my workstation again and just get all of this schmutz off of there. And now comes everybody's favorite part. We're going to decorate. So you can see I've already decorated my one planter. And we're going to, you can really do whatever you want with this. A really good tool to use for decorating these planters, the cement, is colored Sharpies. You can also, if you've got paint, you can use paint on these. And if you want to make straight lines, like I did with these black lines around the edges on this guy, you can take some of your tape, and on the edge of where you want your line, you put your tape. And you can make horizontal lines, like that. And just remember, as straight as you make your line, that's going to be as straight as your line's going to be. So clearly here, that's not going to be the most straight line, right? So I would just take it and I would readjust. Or you can make vertical lines. And then I can take my marker and I can use this line as a guide and draw along that edge there, and when you take the tape off, it'll be a really nice clean line. Now that you've decorated your planter, it's time to plant your succulent in your pot. So what I'm going to do is take my succulent out of its container carefully, and this one I've already taken off some of the dirt, but probably your plant is going to have a lot more dirt than necessarily is going to fit in your cup. And so what you can do is just really make it the right size. You want to make sure that there's still something of a root ball on there, but you do want to just get it so that it's going to fit in there without having to force it. So now I'm going to take my plant, pop it into the pot, and then if there's still space around there, you can use some of the excess soil and put it in there. And now you have your plant. So with your plant, because it has gotten a lot of movement from one pot to another, you actually don't want to water it for about a week. And you want to let it just settle in its pot, its new home. And then what you're going to do is water it about once every week in the summer when it's really hot, and then only about once a month in the winter when it's cold. And put it on a windowsill. And I even made a little bird from my clay. I'm going to put it on the edge there. Now you have your planter.